Thank you. All right, folks, you folks ready for a great show?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do better than that. I said, are you folks ready for a great show?
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the world famous Liarsville players. I introduce to you the one, the only, the talented Mr. Slippery Science.
Yay!
Also, please put your hands together for the best pair of dancing legs in this town. The incomparable Miss Betty Bennett!
Yay!
And ladies and gentlemen, I am Charlie Whitehorse's twin cousin. Handy Andy. Hello.
Woo! Yay!
Welcome to Liarsville. And welcome to the world famous Liarsville Hippodrome. Now, is anybody from out of town? Of course you are. We like to joke around here. We like to have a good time around here. Now, I remind you folks that this place is a historical location. 122 years ago, this place was actually a thriving city full of tents. This stretched all the way from this hillside here to the Skagway River. For more than 2 miles of this valley flowed. Why? You see, it was the last level spot before making that upward climb towards the White Pass Trail, right before striking it rich. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Here was the perfect place for thousands of people to come around to get their last taste of civilization. That's right. Hello. You see, here you can get yourself a hot meal. Ooh.
Ooh.
You can also get yourself a band at the hotel tent. Oh.
Aww.
You can also get tools at Smitty's tent. You can even get your laundry done. You can also enjoy yourself a hot, luxurious bath. You see, hot, clean water costs you 50 cents.
That's too expensive.
Oh, too expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, darling, for all you bargain shoppers, we've got dirty, used water. 25 cents.
Well, that's more like.
That's right, and it still got soap in it. It's true, folks. It's all true. You can also go over there and get yourself some of that rot gut hooch whiskey at the saloon tent. And then, when you were feeling just a little bit frisky, you could go over to the tent of negotiable infections. Negotiable affections. Back then, the high-class matter cost you $5 for 15 minutes.
That's enough time for some folks.
And I know that most of you being in this audience only need about 3 minutes. Oh, you see, I like that joke. All the women in the audience chuckle and the men get real quiet. Now, I know you wonder why we call this place Liarsville.
Yeah, why?
Okay, darling, we owe that honor to a group of professionals, Slippery, known to this day for their honesty and their integrity. Those group of people are known as...
Oh, I know. Politicians.
No!
Lawyers.
No! Newspaper reporters! It makes sense. The Klondike Gold Rush was the biggest story of its day. In 1897, America was going through a deep depression. So when 2 tons of gold came up the port of Seattle on the steamer, naturally, the stampede started to happen. The gold reporters were sent there to report directly from the gold fields, but when they got there and realized what an arduous task it was, and that it would take them more than 6 months to climb the train,
6 months?
and they would have to carry tons of goods with them on their bags. Well, those reporters decided it was much too hard, much too heavy to lug their typewriters. So what do you do when you want to collect the paycheck, but you don't want to work?
I know, you do a show like this.
You do a show just like this. Or you can do what they did.
What?
You can stay right here, collect all the tall tales and rumors from the mountain, write them up as your very own eyewitness account, as if you knew what was happening 500 miles away. While they wrote what a smooth wagon road it was. Yeah. All one had to do was take a leisurely cruise through the Alaskan Inside Passage. Have yourself about 12 buffets a day. Oh, you can laugh harder than that because y'all did that. Most of you had about 32. And then you get to Skagway, and then you take a little boat to Dawson. You get out on that boat, you reach down and you pull out potato-sized gold nuggets. You put them in your knapsack. You return extremely happy, extremely wealthy in 12 days round trip. Oh, you folks know a lot about that, don't you? You do. Well, it's a lie. It's a lie. In fact, the White Pass Trail was no smooth wagon road. It was narrow, a treacherous mountain that plunged right off into the cliffside, into the bog and the mire. It even became known as the Dead Horse Trail. Jack London wrote,
"Their hearts turned to stone, those which did not break, and they became beasts. The men on the Dead Horse Trail."
That's right. So after failing, coming back down from that mountain, guess who those gentlemen bumped into?
Who?
Me. A newspaper reporter. The same reporter that gives you fair and balanced stories. Till this very day.
Fake news.
Fake news! That's what we call this place Liarsville. Here in Liarsville, we keep the good tradition of never letting the truth get in the way of a good story. Insert applause here. Oh boy, thank you! Ladies and gentlemen, now you just had what we call history. Now for some entertainment, please put your hands together for the one and only, our resident poet, Miss Betty Betty!
Now, are there any romantic types out here today?
Oh, I love love.
Anyone else?
Come on. Y'all heartless or what?
All right. Well, I've got the most romantic poem that I know, and I'm going to dedicate it to you. It's called The Ballad of Blasphemous Bill by Robert Service, the Bard of the Yukon. Now, I took a contract to bury the body of Blasphemous Bill Mackay. Whenever, wherever, or whatsoever the manner of death he die, be it by battle, or murder, or sudden whelp, by pestilence, hooch, or lead, I swore on the book I would follow and look till I found that tombless dead. Now, Bill was a dainty kind of cuss, and his mind was mighty sought on a dinky patch with some flowers and grass in a civilized boneyard lot. And when he died and how he died, it didn't matter a damn, so long as he had that grave with frills and his tombstone epigram. So I painted a 3-foot slab of pine. Here lies poor Bill Mackay. And I hung it up on my cabin wall and just waited for Bill to die. Now years passed away till at last one day came a lass with a story strange of a long deserted line of traps way back on the Bighorn Range, of a little hut by the Great Divide and a white man stiff and still lying there by his lonesome self. I figured that must be Bill. So I thought of the contract I made with him, and I took down from the shelf the swell black box for the silver plate that he picked out for himself. Packed it full of grub and hooch, slung it on my sleigh, harnessed up my team of dogs, and was off at the dawn of day. North by the compass, north I pressed, river and peak and plain. House like a dream I slept to lose and waked to dream again. River, plain, and mighty peak, and who could stand unawed? As their summits blaze, you could stand ungazed at the foot of the throne of God. North, through the wasteland, shunned by the scouring brute. All I heard was my own harsh word and the whine of the Malamute. him, and I looked at my gruesome dead. Then at last I spoke. Now Bill likes his joke, but still, gall darn his eyes. Man ought to consider his mates in the way he up and dies. You ever stood in an Arctic hut in the shadow of the pole with a little coffin 6x3 and a grief you can't control? You ever gazed at a frozen corpse that looks at you with a grin? And it seems to say, you can try all day, but you'll never jam me in. Now, I'm not the man of a quitting kind, but I never felt so blue as I stood there, gazing at that stiff and studying what I'd do. And at last I rose and I kicked off the husky dogs that were nosing round about. I lit a roaring fire in the stove, and I started to thaw Bill out. Well, I thawed, and I thawed for 13 days. Didn't do no good. His arms and his legs stuck out like pegs as if they were made of wood. And at last I said, it ain't no use. He's froze too hard to thaw. He's obstinate and he won't lie straight. I guess I gotta thaw. Well, I sawed off old Bill's arms and legs, and I laid him still and straight. In that little coffin he picked himself with his dinky silver plate, came nigh near to shedding a tear as I nailed him safely down. I packed him away in my Alaskan sleigh and I started back to town. Well, I buried him, as the contract called, in a narrow grave and deep. He's waiting there for the great cleanup when the judgment's loose head sweep. As I smoke my pipe and I meditate in the light of the midnight sun, I sometimes wonder if they was them awful things I done. And as I sit and the pastor talks, expounding on the law, I often think of dear old Bill, how hard he was to saw.
You've had some rhyme, you've had some verse. We're gonna try to do you a song.
It can't be any worse.
Oh, there we go. Way up north, way up north, way up north, way up north. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. Eagle left Seattle in the year of 92. With George Patton, his partner, and his brother Billy too. They crossed the Yukon River and they found Bonanza Gold. Below that old white mountain, just a little southeast of Nome. Step across the majestic mountains to the valleys far below. He talked to a team of huskies that he must have through the snow. The northern lights are running wild beneath the midnight sun. Yes, Sam McCord was a mighty man in the year of 1901. Where the rivers are winding, oh, nuggets are finding. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. Way up north, way up north, way up north, way up north. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. North to Alaska, we're going north, the rush is on. George Francis Sam, with gold in his hand. He said, Sam, you're looking at a lonely, lonely man. I traded all this gold buried in the dear land. Just to place one small band of gold on sweet little Jenny's tank. Just a man needs a is on. North to Alaska, we're going north. The rush is on.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed that tune we put on for you. And now, without further ado, what y'all came out here to Alaska to do, strike it rich! Now, I'm up here to teach y'all how to gold pan. What I'm holding here is a dirty, rusty pan. But inside of this pan is something very precious to all of us here at Liarsville. And of course, it's gotta be gold! No, it's dirt. But under that dirt is your real 18-karat gold that we got all the way out of Canada. Canada. Why Canada? Well, as you remember, there was never any gold found here in Skagway. Nope. The Stampeders had to travel 500 miles north to get theirs. So we followed right in their footsteps. That's right, we got in our SUV. We drove up to Canada. We bought their gold, and we brought it back and put it in each and every one of these pans that we bought on eBay. But by putting the gold flakes in the pans ourselves, we found that it greatly increases your chances of finding gold here today. So the first thing we're going to want to do is scoop this pan good and full of water. Now you're ready to indulge in what will undoubtedly be the highlight of your entire Alaskan adventure! This excited too. See, all I'm doing, I'm just shaking this pan back and forth full of water. What that does is it separates the dirt and the gravel from the gold. Now, gold is the densest material in your pan, so naturally it's going to sink to the bottom. Now, in order to break up all of that dirt and rock that's covering our precious gold, we want to be sure to add plenty of water while we shake it up because, as we all know here, breaking up is
To do.
Y'all seen this show before?
Welcome back.
So, once we get all of our gold situated at the bottom of our pan, we're going to want to get rid of all that dirt and rock that's covering it up. So, here at Liarsville, we got a simple 4-step process. It's real easy. I'm going to teach you guys, and we're all going to do it together. So, if you're ready, we're going to scoop this pan good and full of water. Shake it back and forth. Tilt it on its side. And just pour off some of that dirt and water. So all together now we are going to scoop,
Shake.
tilt, pour,
Scoop.
shake,
Tilt. Pour. Scoop. Shake. Tilt. Pour. Tilt. Pour. Scoop. Shake. Tilt. Pour. Scoop. Shake. Tilt. Pour. Yeah!
If you like that, you can buy his CD at the gift shop.
Man, my face is right on it.
Now, once we've done all that, you'll have about a tablespoon of dirt left in your pan. And now we want to get rid of all that little bit of dirt because that's going to be hiding our precious gold. So, you know what? I'm going to do something a bit different. For this next part of the demonstration, I'm going to need a volunteer from the audience.
Don't be shy. We're going to come get you anyway. Daddy's gonna get you. Daddy's gonna get you. Daddy's gonna get you. Daddy's gonna get you. All right.
You look nervous.
Give him a round of applause.
Yeah!
Now, see, what we like to call this gentleman here is a voluntold. Go on,
Nice,
go,
watch
sir.
your
Thank
step.
you so much. We really
And
appreciate
one more.
it. Right up here in the beautiful lights.
One more step up. Yo, give him
All
one
right.
more.
Yay!
All right, go ahead and let these wonderful people know your name, sir.
Mike,
Mike. All right, Mike. Where are you coming from?
Ohio.
I'm sorry?
Ohio.
Oh, no, I heard you, Mike. I am just sorry. Now, Mike, tell me, do you see any gold in this pan?
I do not.
No, we're going to need another volunteer. Anybody else? Mike, I'm messing with you. So, we ain't going to see no gold until we get all of that dirt out of our pan. So what I need you to do for me today, Mike, is to howl at the top of your lungs and you see something amazing and exciting in this pan. Can you do that for me?
I can.
Fantastic. So, we're going to scoop this full of water, shake it back and forth, and now just keep your eye on that and let me know when you start to see something. Oh, we're shaking. We're just...
Go! The kind of excitement you had at the Goldrush, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Take me down, buddy.
All right, thank you.
It ain't real, but you don't got to tell nobody. Now, if you folks in the back couldn't see the gold, don't worry about it. They couldn't see it up front either. So, we are going to find anywhere between 2 and 4 flakes of gold in each of these pans here today, and I guarantee you there is gold in each and every one, because Miss Betty woke up bright and early this morning, sprinkled it in herself. She really did. Now, once you find that gold, we do have a few rules that I need to go over real quick. Number 1, your gold's in this pan, so don't go and just dump it all out, because then you don't get none. All right, and number 2, please do not scrape the bottom of the trough, because that'll mess up our beautiful pans. All right, so once you find that gold, I bet you're going to want to bag it up, bring it home to wow and amaze your family and friends, am I right?
Yeah.
So, in order to do that, we have brought for you today 100% authentic 1898 plastic Ziploc baggie. Just like the Stampeders used. So to collect our gold, we want to unzip our bag, scoop it good and full of water, and then we're going to take a finger. Doesn't matter which finger, but I like to use my gold finger. Especially. See, I feel that joke forms a bond between us. Yeah. So we're going to take that finger and just dry it off on the person next to it. Doesn't matter who it is.
That's right, you can use like your wife or your husband or somebody that you do not know.
Oh, look at Charlie.
Yeah, we're going to have some whiskey later.
So, once that finger's nice and dry,
Is it dry enough?
I don't know, you might want to keep going. We're going to take that dry finger in our wet bag, and we're just going to press firmly onto the gold. It's going to stick to the oils in our finger, and then we dip that finger in the water. Gold's going to fall down to the bottom. We repeat this process over and 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 over until we've collected a massive amounts of gold!
Yay.
But you're not done yet. You don't want to take your bag full of riches and icy cold water and just stick it back in your pocket, because then, bam, you get this embarrassing stain that you got to explain to the folks back on the ship. And gentlemen, let me tell you something. If this happens to you, you're going to get yourself a little life lesson in a cold and shrinkage. Oh, we don't want that, do we? So, in order to avoid that precarious situation, we're just going to take our bag here, tilt it over on its side so all that gold falls to one corner. Then we can take 2 fingers, come up under it, and just pinch the bottom.
Do a favorite game. Come on, Daddy. Here we go. And
Oh, you
it's pinch. Go.
fools, I didn't mean that bottom. I meant to grab your nugget.
Oh, he wants me to grab my nuggets. I got this.
I shouldn't have said that.
Ooh, concentration, Charlie. So heavy.
All right, you go and take care of that now. So, once that gold is safely between our fingers, we can go ahead and just pour out all that water. And be sure to zip it up when you're done, because it keeps your nuggets cleaner that way. And there you have it, folks. Your real 18-karat gold. Yeah. You all came to Alaska. You searched for your gold. You found Canadian gold.
Oh, Canada.
Now tell me who here's got the gold fever?
Yeah.
I like to hear. Mr. Jefferson, do we got gold for everybody?
I have enough gold for everyone, and you got to see me to get it.
Are you ready to
Go get your gold. Thank you for joining us.
Yay.
We hope you've had a good time.
Yes.
If you folks enjoyed yourself, you can help us get through the winter time by tipping that mailbox over, okay? Put something nice nice and crispy in it. It'll help us. Please don't try to put food in there. Thank you so much,